Today, I want to talk to you about something a friend of mine said to me. She said, I don't know if I like the new you. And this is something that we work on and that we go through in Back to Me. And it's one of the first sessions in the third R, the rebuild. And you might have come across this. If it's with Back to Me, if it's with any other self-development plan, program, energy, identity, etc., etc. This is something that is so common because it's not the age, but when you grow personally, you become a different person in the sense of that you put on different characteristics. You realize that behavior that you had in the past that you displayed very often doesn't serve you anymore. It doesn't feel right anymore. I know that from my own experience, I used to play the victim. I love to be the victim. And after letting go of all that baggage, being the victim, playing the victim, behaving like the victim, it just didn't feel right anymore. It felt like, what am I doing here? This is like wearing the left shoe on the right foot. It just didn't work. And that is what we mean when you become a new version. There is behavior, there are thoughts, there are even body feelings, emotions that don't feel like before anymore. It just feels different, like not the right fit anymore. And so you won't display this behavior. You won't think these thoughts that often anymore. It becomes less and less and less. And that's what makes you then that new person. And my friend said this to me because we haven't seen each other in 2 years. We've been in contact, and she told me that she has grown. And I told her, yeah, I feel like I have grown. I've done, not that I've done much work, but I've done work and I realized I see the world differently. I've done a lot of energetic work in the sense of I just realized I've let go of so much. So it feels like a whole different person, even though it's the same person, it's the same me, just a different me. How should I explain this? I like to think of it that because so many of you love to talk about the inner child and we need to heal the inner child. I like to look at it differently. I like to see myself, this is me, this is the Anna that you see now here today. And then next to me, next to me, next to me, next to me. So there's an endless row of Annas from every single day of birth, even before and until death and even after. So, and every day there's a different Anna. Every day this Anna behaves in a different way, learns something new, has a new experience, which changes the way I look at things, I treat people, I behave towards situations. So there is a multiverse of Annas around me because time isn't linear, it's all over the place and at the same time. But that's a different topic for a different time. What I want to say is that this Anna, this new Anna, she might not like. And when you're not used to that, when you used to have friends from 20, 30 years ago, often we feel obliged to stay in these relationships, to keep these relationships going, particularly when it's family. It's like you are supposed to, you have to stay in contact, stay in that circle. But you don't. It's a choice. I want you to remember that you always have a choice. Your choice how you spend your time, with who you spend your time, and it's your responsibility to make that choice consciously, to build your relationships consciously. Now, that means when a person comes to you and says, I don't know if I like this new version of you, you have a choice what to do with it. I tell you what I did, and maybe that inspires you to think about what would you do or how did you do it before? How would you do it in the future? So when she said that to me, I instantly understood what she means because I see with my clients and my students, if you're not allowed, if you see this new version, then what you thought until today isn't true anymore. And if she liked me before, she's afraid of what would she think about me when she gets to know this new me. Maybe she doesn't like me anymore, but she doesn't want to lose me as a friend. So she rather keeps the distance and stays away and keeps that illusion up in her head. Until at one point we would probably meet again in person on the phone, however, and she would to get to know that new version of me. And then she can decide, then it's up to her, what does she do with it? But for me right now, in my position, knowing that there is a friend, a lifelong friend, I know her since I was 40, so over 30 years. She said that I understand that she's afraid of not being able, being allowed to. Now she needs to change the way she thought about me. That's scary. That's out of control. She's losing control. And many, many of us don't like that feeling. They don't even like the thought of it. They don't like what happens in their body with it. They don't like the interpretation they're creating with all of that. So not being in control feels not good. But for me, I'm okay. I'm okay. How I see it is, she, next time I meet her, might still like me. She might not like me anymore. This friendship of over 30 years might be over by our next meeting. It might be not. So there are options. And your life is meaningless. My life is meaningless. I give everything a meaning. And I chose and took the responsibility for that choice to be okay with whatever happens, to be okay until then, to talk about it. Yes, give you my 5 pence about it. This is what I think. This is how I look at it. And maybe it helps you in some way. I'm pretty sure it does. So that's what I do with it. What I do with the uncertainty of other people on how to treat you with this new version that you have now, today. And I make the choice. It's okay. If she doesn't want to see me ever again, fine. I'm happy that we had the time that we had. We had great times. I will be sad. Don't get me wrong. Of course, I will be sad. But it's okay. I don't want to have any person in my life, particularly in my private life, that doesn't want to be with me, that doesn't want to spend time with me, that doesn't look forward to meeting up with me. Because that's what I do when I say, let's go for coffee. I look forward to meeting that person. In business, it's often a mix, but as soon as I notice that it's more of a responsibility of a I should do this, I change my perspective on it, or I let it go and don't do it. But for me, there's a difference because business, it's business. It's also a different persona that I am in business. When I talk to contractors, when I talk to collaboration partners, yeah, because doing the mental health support for a couple of clinics here in Xinjiang, when I talk to those managers, it's a slightly different persona. It's a different hat that I'm wearing. And when they try to give me less money than I say this is my hourly rate. It's like, no, don't want me, I leave. So be aware of that. You have different personas, you wear different hats in different scenarios, in different parts of your life, as a mother, as a daughter, as a sister, as a wife. Yeah, there's all different parts. So there's a difference. In my personal life, I'm just talking about the personal now. And even if it would be my romantic life, if my partner now would tell me, Anna, the way you are now, I don't like it. I don't want to deal with it. So, okay, do you think you can grow to like me? And if he says no, then that's probably the end of our relationship. And that's a hard pill to swallow because often we think that because of the amount of time we spend together, what we've gone through together, there has to be a way that we both can adapt as long as love is there. But love alone doesn't save your relationship. There needs to be action. There needs to be commitment. There needs to be the responsibility for your own behavior. And there needs to be make choices for the relationship. And if that's not there, all the love in the world won't help your relationship to grow, to survive. So if your partner says, this new year is weird, I don't like it. Okay, what about it? Be curious. I will ask my friend. So now, after we spend 2 hours, probably, do you still like me? Maybe you like me more, maybe you like me less. But are you willing to work on our relationship? Are you willing to get to know this new Anna and maybe change your perspective? Yes or no? And if she says no, then said, thank you. Thank you for the honesty because that's worth a lot. We always think of the pain that we have when someone says, I don't want you. But on the other hand, we could be so, so happy, so, so glad, so, so grateful, appreciative for that person being so honest, not leading us, not trying them to change themselves, not trying us to change ourselves, but just saying, this doesn't work for me. And then it's okay. If this doesn't work for you and you're not willing to do anything about it for it, fair enough. That's the end. And that gives you the chance to spend your time with people that do want to be with you. There is this movie, just think about it. It's called He's Just Not That Into You. And there are these girls and men and boys and ladies, and they think about, analyze behaviors of the other person, of the other guy, of the other girl, da 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 da. And in the end, this one character, she gets that realization. So, he's just not that into me. Full stop. If he doesn't call, he probably doesn't want to call me. If he doesn't text, he probably doesn't want to text me, or he's busy. But if he doesn't text me in 5 days, he might have had an accident, or he might just not be that into me. He doesn't want to have that contact. Full stop. Nothing bad about it. It doesn't mean that you're worth less, that you're not good enough. It just means that this person is not your person. And every person who wants to be with you, that's your person. It's that simple. So let's get back to, I don't know if I like the new you. Think about what goes through your head. Maybe you're afraid, maybe there is fear thinking about, oh my God, if my long-term friend, if my parents, my partner, if they would say that to me, I don't know what I would do. But let it sink in. Just ask yourself, ask your brain, that question simply, what would happen if they don't like the new me? And let your brain come up with stuff. And it might come up with very, very weird stuff. But it might also come up with no need to be afraid. And there is no need to be afraid. Because when you're afraid, it's based on the belief that you're not good enough. That says something about you. I used to have people telling me, Anna, if so many people tell you that you should be different, why don't you change? And I thought, that's not how it works, is it? I don't want to be someone strangers think that is acceptable. That's not my goal in life because it's exhausting. It's fucking exhausting to play a role and to try to pretend to be whatever someone wants you to be. Because the funny part is that everyone wants you to be a different part, a different, just smile more, smile less, speak louder, be quieter, look into the camera, look away from the camera, more hand gestures, less hand gestures. Yeah. Everyone has a different opinion about what the ideal is because we all have a different filter system. Yeah. Here in this space here. So for everyone, different opinion. Now you try to fit into all of these different opinions. How exhausting is that? So exhausting. And you literally lose sight of what do I actually want? Who do I want to be? How do I want to be? And the first step is acceptance. Yeah. I'm not getting tired of saying that. First step is accepting who you are right now, stopping that inner war, and with that moving forward, because it's so much easier to change your behavior, change your energy, let go when that inner war has stopped by you accepting who you are in this moment. And with that, you can accept the other people saying, yeah, you don't like me anymore. You're so afraid of not, of that you might not like me. So you might not want to meet with me. Okay. You do you. I do me. And I do something else. But it has nothing, their opinion, their fear has nothing to do with you, that you're not okay the way you are. You might be an asshole, yeah, fair enough. And they might not want to spend time with you because you behave like an asshole and you're very rude and they don't feel comfortable with that. That's okay. It is okay. There is probably a reason why you behave like an asshole. There is a reason why you are that rude. There's always a reason. But the question is, do you want to continue that? It's always the same pattern. Do you want to continue that behavior, those thought patterns? You take responsibility and you make a choice. I say no. Still, because I thought about that just the other day. I thought, if I'm not cursing, or I should call, not, what did I think? It was cursing and being kind to people. And I was in this conflict of um, going to one of the hospitals waiting because I had a client. So I arrived there and just on the way, literally 2 minutes before, they sent me a message that that client had cancelled. And I arrived there. I was like, well, that's a bit short notice. And they said, oh, yeah, so excuses, excuses. And then I said, client still has to pay. Oh, yeah, 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 they still have to pay. And I was like, oh, fuck's sake. And then for a couple of minutes, I felt bad for cursing that I said, for fuck's sake. And then I thought, no, I give myself permission because that comes to my head and I'm not directing it to people. I curse. You might have guessed that. You might have noticed that. But it's like, yeah, I say these words and I'm not directing them at that person saying, you are a fucking loser for not telling me on time before I leave to come here. That's not what I said. I just like, for fuck's sake. They might have taken it personally. That's possible. They might have not. That's also possible. But I chose for myself, like, cursing is okay. Don't hurt people on purpose. That's a no-go. So I can still be kind. I can still be a people's person and can curse. But you have to give yourself that permission. You have to think about, what do you want? What is important? Where is the change to who you are now to something that someone else told you or you heard and you believe now that is the right thing to do? Because I heard that where this comes from is that I heard that you be neutral, not going up, not going down. It's like, yeah, I love that. And I have a lot of that. And the cursing, I realized, isn't me going up or me going down. It's like a comment. It's like interesting. Ah, for fuck's sake, this is what it is now. It's a different wording. And the emotion I carry when I say that isn't anger. It's just like, what a shit show. Interesting. For fuck's sake. Interesting. That's the level. And that makes the difference. But I'm getting off topic, so off topic, but it doesn't matter. It's important to say. So with that, I leave you and I see you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.